Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is John, aka the Tin Man Chef, and today we're going to be doing something very simple yet so delicious that you will always want to make it. It is going to be a roasted pepper and tomato soup with a secret ingredient. That secret ingredient is black tea. So go ahead and stick around and enjoy the recipe. So now to get started, we're going to go ahead and list out the ingredients. You're going to need a pint of heavy cream, some sour cream. You're also going to need a quart of chicken stock. You're of course going to need your black tea. And then also 2 tablespoons of garlic, a peeled onion, about 4 to 5 big red ripe tomatoes, and 3 bell peppers. You can choose any color you want. I chose green, orange, and yellow. So let's go ahead and get started. Now to get started, you're going to want to get a big baking sheet like this and set your oven to about 450 degrees. That way, when the peppers and tomatoes cook, it is going to make it a little bit charred and it's going to give it a great smoky flavor. So we're going to go ahead and cut our peppers. If you've never seen a pepper cut the correct way before, here's how to do it. So what you're going to do is you're going to find the core. Core is the top and the bottom, and you're just going to go down the side. All right, and when you've done that, you should have the core with all of the seeds, and then you should have the sides of the pepper with little to no seeds in it. So we're just going to place this onto our baking sheet. And I'll go ahead and do this with the other 2 peppers. Now you also do, when you put them on the baking sheet, you want to make sure that they are this side down, so the inside down. That way it does make the skin more charred. Now for the tomatoes, you just want to go ahead and quarter these any way you want to. Just make sure that you do get these little stems off because they can be quite hard when you're trying to eat them. Now, I know that you guys have probably heard that a tomato is a fruit, but do you know why it is a fruit? The reason that a tomato is a fruit is because, well, it's a little fruity, and also it does have the seeds on the inside. Now that we have all of our tomatoes and bell peppers all chopped up, we're going to go ahead and add some olive oil and drizzle that over the top. Make sure that they are well dressed. And we're also going to go ahead and add some salt. So you want to go ahead and put it up high and just let the salt fall. And remember to season your dish throughout, because when you season your dish throughout, you're building the ingredients and you're also building the flavor. So later down the line, you're not trying to salt the soup at the end because it has no flavoring to it. So we're just going to go ahead and place this into our oven and allow this to cook for about 15 to 20 minutes or until the skin starts charring. And then once we do that, we'll bring it out and go from there. We're going to medium dice 1 onion so that we can saute it in our pan. It doesn't matter how big, medium, or small it is diced, it just needs to be diced so it can be cooked easier. Alright, so now our peppers and tomatoes are ready to be pulled out of the oven. So we're going to go ahead and pull this out, let the steam dissipate a little bit. And there we are. As you could see, we have our peppers and our tomatoes slightly charred. The skin is coming up off of them, and there is plenty of juice on the bottom. So we're going to allow this to cool down for a little bit while we build up our stock and add our onions, saute them, and then we'll come back and add this to our pot. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and heat up our pan and add about 2 tablespoons of olive oil to it, and we're gonna allow this to start lightly and gently smoking. The reason that we want it to lightly and gently smoke is that we know that it is ready to be sauteed. And what sauteing is meaning to jump. So when you put any vegetable in and it goes, that means it's sauteed. Well, that means that the oil is hot enough. If the oil isn't hot enough, it'll just set in there and boil. And nobody likes boiled vegetables. Now I see that our oil is slowly starting to smoke. So we're going to go ahead and add our onions to it. And that is the sound that you want. And we're just going to give this a good stir to allow for that oil to coat all of the vegetables. Well, only one vegetable in there at the moment, the onion. And we're going to allow this onion to cook down just a little bit. We'll add a little bit of salt, just a pinch, just to drain out some of that moisture. Now, since the onion is starting to be good and cook well, we're going to go ahead and add our garlic to the mixture. This is about 2 tablespoons of garlic, and we're just going to cook this until it is fragrant. Onions and garlic are the best 2 combinations in the world, and if you don't think so, then you're wrong. Now we're just going to turn down our heat a little bit. And we're going to come back to our tomatoes and peppers. And we're just going to pour the juice in and put all of this deliciousness in there. Give that a good stir, let everything get organized and everything get together and know everybody. Now for our secret ingredient, we're going to add our black tea. You can use caffeinated or decaffeinated black tea, it really doesn't matter, just black tea in general. So we're going to sprinkle that into here. And what the black tea does is it elevates the flavors of the tomatoes and peppers and brings more of the sweetness out in them. Now, we're going to add our chicken stock. Make sure that we get all of that chicken stock out from underneath there. Give it another good stir. You do want to bring out your heavy cream just so that it does come up a little bit to room temperature, because if it doesn't, then it could curdle in the soup when you pour it in there hot. Now that the flavors have all combined a little bit, we're going to go ahead and give our soup a nice good blend so that everything becomes smooth and it turns into an even more delicious soup. So we're going to use an immersion blender. If you've never used an immersion blender before, they are a wonderful thing. You can use a blender if you'd like, or a masher, but an immersion blender is the easiest way. So we're going to go ahead and put this in here, and we're going to start blending. Now we're going to slowly add our heavy cream into the soup and just stir it while we're adding it. That right there is a good fine soup. Now we're going to go ahead and plate up our soup. So we're just going to get a good big ladle of this. Then we'll add a good scoop of sour cream to it. So there you have it, guys. Roasted pepper and tomato soup with black tea. Hope you guys enjoy this recipe. If you did, please leave a like, share, and follow for more. And come on over on Instagram and show me if you made this with hashtag 10manchef. But for now, bye.